On the line, President of the Australian Council of Trade Unions, Ged Kearney. Good morning.
Good morning, Neil.
It's your union. What are you doing about it?
Union, Neil, I really take offence at what you've been saying this morning, I have to say. And that man you treated just abominably then, because...
It's your union. What are you doing about it?
Neil, there are 2 million people in unions in this country.
It is
Wonderful
your union.
People.
What
Neil,
are you doing about it?
let me say this and I will answer your question.
Thank you very much.
Neil, there are 2 million union members in this country. I come from the Nurses Union. You know Lisa Fitzpatrick from the Nurses Union. You know she is a good person. You know she fights incredibly hard for her 70,000 members in Victoria. There are 250,000 members in the ANF, all
Ms.
of whom
Kearney,
are served
you know the unions are dying as well as I do. You know they're on the skids.
You know,
this
Neil,
is your union. What are you doing about it?
Just a minute, Neil.
Oh, for heaven's sake, can you answer the question?
Just a minute. Now, you know that there are 2 million workers in this country.
You've told me
who
that.
Depend. No, just a minute. This is something different. 2 million workers who depend every year, who work on the minimum wage and award on the union movement for a pay rise. And we work very, very hard every year to get those workers a decent pay rise. Unions work hard. Now, we have some sensational allegations.
Can you please answer the question? Well, please get there. This is self-justification 0
We have 2 million, we have some serious...
You told me that twice.
Neil.
All right,
we have some serious allegations in a newspaper right now. They are allegations. They are just that. No, come on. They are allegations.
Well, it is. It's more than that. It's coming from the police. It's coming from the building.
Police. That's just the
Ken
point.
Lay told me last year the druggies had infiltrated the union and were selling drugs. The bikies. You've got it from the police. You've got it from the building industry watchdog. You've got it from the union officials, all saying there is a level of corruption in this union. It is your union. What are you doing about it?
We do not stand for any fraudulent behaviour.
So what are you doing about it?
Corruption. We expel people, as you know, Neil, you're drawing on history. You know that we expel people from the union movement.
So what are you doing about the CFMEU corruption?
The leadership of the CFMEU, Mr. Dave Noonan, who is a good man, and I'm sure you've even come across him. He is a very good...
I spoke to him at length yesterday. What is the ACTU doing about this?
I am working with the CFMEU, and I am absolutely 100% confident in the leadership of the CFMEU.
Why?
They are good people. He has written to the police. He has written to the New South Wales Police. He has written to the Victoria Police. And he has said, if there is any basis to these allegations, please deal with it. Come in. We will cooperate with you. We will work with you.
If there is any basis to these allegations, you've got all the major organisations, I repeat, the police, the union itself, the building industry watchdog, even the Crime Commission is saying you've got a problem. Now, what has to happen here before you actually take some action and suspend the CFMEU from your organisation?
We are working with the CFMEU. They sacked someone, Neil. They sacked someone yesterday.
They sacked
You cannot say that they are not dealing with it. They've asked the police to come in.
This has been going on for years.
No, Neil, they have asked the police to come in and investigate. Now, listen, what is happening right now is we are getting a political diversion.
Oh.
No, Neil, come on.
This is about corruption. This is about drug dealing. It isn't about politics.
We have a political
man's
diversion.
life threatened.
Neil, we have a political diversion here where there are allegations. We are dealing with those. We have gone to the police, Neil. What else do you want me to do? We are going to the police
you
to investigate
You suspended the Health Services Union in 2012. Is the CFMEU too powerful?
Neil, now listen, we've suspended the HSU in 2012 because we had 111 proven allegations from the Fair Work Commission and we had charges laid. Now listen, I have none of those things here and I would be incredibly irresponsible and you would be blaring down your radio at me if I was irresponsible.
Don't be patronising.
And just actually willy-nilly did it. It's a very serious thing to suspend a union. Now, the leadership of the CFMEU spoke to Dave, you said yesterday, they are handling this very well. Now,
so what are you doing? What are you doing? What is the ACTU executive doing? When is the next meet?
The CFMEU.
How? What are you doing?
I have met with Dave, I am confident that the CFMEU has done the right thing by writing to
Well, what
the
about an
police.
ACTU investigation into it? An independent one, not the CFMEU. Do it yourself.
I am not a police force. We have the police force that deals with those things.
Every organisation has internal governance. Have you got no internal governance?
Let's just look at this from a broader perspective. Okay.
Well, have you got internal governance or not?
Yes, of course we do.
Well, what is it? Why isn't it being used?
It is.
How?
We are working with the CFMEU.
Who is?
Do you want me to just compete saying this? You're boring your listeners.
Well, let me worry about that. You're avoiding the issue. You say you've got internal governance. How is your internal?
Look, this outrage is absolutely extraordinary. Now, let me talk to you.
Well, so is the corruption in the building industry. So is the drug dealing by bikies. So is the industrial thuggery and intimidation.
I'm going to say one more thing.
Thank you very much.
okay, why aren't you ringing, the labour hire firms? We have labour hire firms.
Oh, I see. It's somebody else's fault.
No,
Okay.
I'm not. I'm saying this is a complex issue.
I agree.
There are employers involved.
I agree.
There are labour hire firms involved. There are construction
I agree.
companies involved.
I agree.
Now, as far as and I don't see your outrage there, comrade. Now, as far as what the ACTU is doing right now is we are working with the CFMEU, and they are doing a good job dealing with this. They have internal investigations going on right now into some of these things. They have sacked someone. They have written to the police. That is absolutely appropriate and behaved. That is absolutely appropriate response. Even you must admit that.
Okay. Well, do you
and
admit
I am
something?
not going to step in and override the CFMEU's internal actions around this issue when they are taking absolute appropriate.
Do you expect, as President of the ACTU, that when the police, the building industry watchdog and the crime commission and the union itself say there is a problem of corruption within and around this union, that you've got a problem?
I'm working with the CFMU.
Do you accept there's a problem?
Neil, if those things are true, there is a problem, and there is a way to deal with it, my friend, and we are dealing with it right now, okay?
Have you spoken to the man who claims he had his life threatened?
No, I haven't. It's
Would
not
you?
Of course not, because that would be interfering in a legal process should there actually be an investigation from the police. You know I can't do that.
Well, there's no investigation at the moment. Of course you can.
Why not? I can't do that, because he should go to the police. That should be dealt with in the proper legal
that's on him. He's allegedly threatened by a union official, and it's nothing to do with you.
Of course it is, and it's my job as president. Of course it is, Neil. You're being really silly here. Of course it is. It's my job to make sure that the processes are in place to deal with that.
And this is what I'm getting at. What are you doing? You had a meeting with the CFMEU.
Do you want me to repeat that?
Yeah, you have a meeting with the CFMEU. That's all you've told me to do.
No, I have a meeting with the CFMEU. Well, I haven't had a meeting. I've spoken with Dave at length, as you have, to make sure there are processes in place to deal with this. And those processes are in place.
What are the processes? You haven't told me that.
There has been internal investigations in
by
the
whom?
CFMEU, by the CFMEU, and that's appropriate.
And
they have actually sacked one person where the investigations have found that there was some merit, and they have written to the police. What else do you want me to do? Do you want me to hang someone, Neil? I'm not going to hang someone.
No, I want you to be saying something to your members to be taking it a bit more seriously. You tell me the CFMEU can investigate, but you can't. Now, how does that happen?
Because I'm a peak body. I have no
that's
role.
The point,
I have no connection with those members. Those members have... my job, Neil, to oversee the process, and the process is occurring. The process is occurring.
Why? One last question. Why should people, when they look at this, they look at the HSU, they look at the history of the construction industry, probably going back 40 years, why should they trust unions anymore?
I'll tell you why, Neil. This is sensational allegations that haven't been proven. They haven't been taken to the police. And this is
they have been taken to the police, haven't they? You told me they had.
Well,
have they been taken or not?
No, I don't think
they haven't. Well, why don't you take them to the police?
We have. We wrote to the police and said, come and investigate.
You just said they hadn't been taken to the police. You're confusing me.
Well, we can't take in... I can't lay charges of things I'm not involved in. Come on, Neil, you're a smart man. You're being a bit silly.
Oh, come on, you're playing games with me.
No, I'm not. The CFMEU has written to the police and has said there is a series of allegations that have been laid. Please investigate. Now, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
So what else? I don't know what else.
Okay. When does the ACTU...
Until those investigations are had, I think that is an appropriate process. I'm not going to dive in and do anything more dire.
I would have thought there'd be a degree of internal governance within the ACTU that would kick in here, but I accept that there isn't.
There is internal governance, and it is being followed.
Well, you've spoken on the phone to the union official. That's internal governance.
I have assured that a process is in place, and that process includes the police. And the police are the appropriate people to deal with this. I don't know why the Age didn't go to the police. I don't know why those people who are making those allegations...
You're accusing the Age of not going to the police, and yet... Oh, good.
And we've gone to the police. CFMEU has gone to the police now.
CFMEU.
Why didn't those people who are laying those allegations go to the police? This is all... It's all very murky.
Well,
and come on, Neil, you are a champion of process. I know you are. I have heard you.
I have heard you on behalf of your listeners, and I'm frustrated by this.
What would you have me do, Neil? You want these things investigated. You want due process. That is happening.
Thank you very much for your time.
People are going to the police. Now, can I just say one last thing before you hang up on me?
Oh,
please?
I'm not going to hang up on you. Don't go on. And
I would
don't
like
lecture
to
me about
say-
2 million members again, please.
I would like to say that there are a lot of hard-working union officials out there
Of course
right
there are.
now
And doing a good
who
job,
do
some
the
of them.
absolute wonderful thing. You know, there are teachers, there are childcare workers who rely on their unions, there are firemen. You know how hard our fireys work in this country.
And to a lot of people,
There
you're
are police.
increasingly irrelevant.
There are police who rely on their unions. There are 2 million, we're the largest political organisation in this country.
Yeah, I know.
And by and large, 99.999% of union officials in this country work bloody hard for their members, Neil. They do. And I think, Neil, I think
you've had
need
your
to
free
accept
kick.
that.
Is that enough?
I think you need to accept that, and
I
it would
think
be
you
wonderful.
need to accept that the union movement is
It would
less
be wonderful.
relevant by the day.
No, it would be wonderful for you to acknowledge all those listeners out there right now who are in unions, who work for unions.
I'm welcoming their calls. I'll take calls. I want
you
people
were
to
very
ring me.
rude to that poor man who rang up before, who tried to tell you that he was proud of his union.
All right.
And I think that you need to acknowledge that.
Please.
I'm asking you, please acknowledge that on your program.
All right. Well, you
there are
acknowledge
good
that you've
union
got a
people.
big problem in the CFMEU.
I'm acknowledging that there has been alleged problems that are being dealt with.
Okay.
Neil, they're being dealt with by the police.
enough.
Neil, we have gone the highest place we possibly can. We have asked the police, mate, to come in and investigate
Oh,
this.
no, you're saying it's all a political gimmick. It's not politics. It's not politics.
Neil,
It really isn't.
Oh, I have to say what is politics is Tony Abbott saying that he wants to call a Royal Commission.
Well, I think that's nonsense. I think he should
think
forget
it's
the Royal
nonsense.
Commission as well.
Oh, good. We agree.
Yeah, it didn't work last time.
That is nothing but
Can
a
I
political
go now,
witch hunt.
Okay.
Oh, Neil, sorry about that, mate. I've enjoyed the chat. But it would be nice if you actually did acknowledge to all those people out there that there are unions that do a good job.
Thank you very much.
See you, Neil. Thanks for that, mate. Bye.
Ged Kearney, President of the ACTU. Ben, hello.
Hey, good morning, Neil. Did you have your coffee this morning, Neil? It seems like, boy, oh boy, mate, you're getting a little bit volatile there, Neil.
This frustrates me. It really does. It really does.
Well, you can't tar the many because of the actions of a few. You understand that.
Of course.
You can't just disband unions because you don't trust them anymore. The majority of people don't trust government. You aren't advocating for disbanding of government across the board, are you, Neil?
Sometimes I would. No, but that's not the point, Ben. Of course the majority are clean. My point is that I think things like this are leading to the demise of the union movement. I think the union movement, and despite Ged Kearney making her point very well, I think that the union movement is increasingly irrelevant. I think the days of having bosses ripping people off are gone because I think bosses realise they have to protect and look after their staff or they don't have good staff. I don't think that we need or want a union movement that, well, certainly that behaves in the way that the CFMEU has arguably been behaving, or parts of it. I think there are example after example of that happening, and the union membership is dropping.